Hello, it is Tuesday, August 6th, and the Hebrew date is the 2nd of Av. I wanted to talk a little bit about this past week's Parshas, I guess, but mostly the second one, Maseh. It was huge. We had a lot of psukim, but I noticed I think it was in Chamishi of Maseh, which is Shishi when they're combined, there's interesting psukim that I wanted to talk about. I want to give an overview of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to speak to them about the Parsha a little, what it meant to me, then about an encounter with a therapist a bunch of years ago in Long Beach, California, and then talk about the name of the channel, which I want to do something with. Okay, let's start with the Parsha. So this is in Perek Lamed Hey, and it's the fourth and fifth pasuk. Basically, it's talking about giving the Levium their cities. So Levium have cities throughout Eretz Yisrael in different portions of the Shvatim. I think they have a total of 42 cities. There's 6 cities of refugee, and then they have another 42 cities. So it's altogether 48. That's just the practical stuff, or the number stuff. Anyway, so what was interesting here that I noticed was that it gives like the instructions about how to give them the land and where it should be. And then it says, it should be for their animals and their possessions. Okay, and then it says the surrounding area of the cities that you should give to the Levium should be 1,000 amos all around. Okay, straight up. And then it says Madosa michutz la'ir etpas kedma alpayim ba'ama, vespas negev alpayim ba'ama, vespas yam alpayim ba'ama, vespas tzafon alpayim ba'ama. And then he goes on to say that it's 2,000 amos in each direction, north, east, towards the ocean, and the south. It's 2,000. So it just said 1,000, and now it's saying 2,000. It's weird. So Rashi explains that the first alpine was for like open area, parks and stuff, and the second was for the sados ukramim. So that's why there's 2,000, but it's still weird how it's written, in a sense that it says first it's just 1,000 around it, and then it goes on to explain that it's really 2,000. And what that made me think about is like the concept of space, and I think maybe the Torah just has some wisdom for us here, that it just included within, like if you're giving someone 1,000 and that's what they need for their thing, then they need more than that to be comfortable in that space, and also as like a protection, as like a buffer zone that they have, so that they'll feel comfortable, and if they're using it for whatever they're using it, they'll still have space. And that leads into this encounter with this therapist that I met with once in Long Beach, California. She was really special, and it was definitely a different experience. I went there for a few days. God bless my parents for arranging it. And we did an exercise where she was like, okay, tell me where you feel comfortable for me to stand. And like she like stood across from me, and I was like, okay, move. And I just like, I don't know, she was like far by the time I felt comfortable. And space is such a serious like factor in our relating to people, and like being too close can be terrible in something, and not close enough can be terrible in another dynamic. It's all about space, and I think the Torah is especially sensitive to that, and we can see it in this case. That also brings me to the last thing, which is the name of the channel. I was thinking about a name for a while, and it feels like a good name, because I don't like that it just says my regular name. I don't know. I don't want anyone coming to knock on my door or whatever it is, but whatever. Hashem will do what he wants. But the point is, the name, so my Hebrew name is Aaron Shimon Noach. And, whenever anyone like writes kind of like a sefer or something, it's not that this is a sefer, but there was always like the creativity of like coming up with a name. And I also thought, like, what would the Baal Shem Tov call his YouTube channel if he had? I'm sure he would have one. Anyways, so there's like a tradition, like a common thing that I had like over the years is like Aleph Shin Nun is like Ashan, which sounds like smoke with an ayin, but is not. And then I thought of a few months ago that the Aleph and Shin is Aish, which is nice. And I know a couple people that have like Aleph and Shin starting their names, which is really special. And then the last of the three names is Noach, and so it felt like special to me, and it resonated with me, Eish Noach, which is not super correct grammatically in Hebrew, but I had checked it with a bunch of people, and it works out relatively. Eish Noach is like a pleasant fire, which I think also relates to this space. It's, with fire, it could be the most delicious, yummy thing if you're in the right position, or it can be so uncomfortable, or it can be deadly. And I would love to provide the right amount of warmth for myself, for Klal Yisrael, for anyone listening to this. So Bezrat Hashem, I will try to do that, and I pray that Hashem helps me to work on myself and remove the obstacles that would prevent me from connecting to people, and that this finds the people who need to hear it. And God willing, we should be good and safe and well and protected, and see Mashiach soon. Anyways, have a great week. Be well.